And welcome back. And we are now at part 3 of last week's new comics, bitches! So, let's move on. Anyway, as I was saying before in the last segment, segue to Kevin Smith's The Bionic Man, number 3. Now this is Kevin Smith again, doing the script with Phil Hester and Jonathan Lau. Basically, it's the same team that brought us Kevin Smith's Green Hornet adaptation. That was very strong. This is pretty damn cool. However, this issue kind of a little bit too much on the kind of the I can understand it. I understand the emotions that are involved with this, and I do appreciate where Steve Austin is at right now, because he is, he's minus a leg and an arm after the crash. He's got severe spinal damage. He's not even being kept alive by machines anymore. And, lo and behold, Oscar Goldman is not quite the, kind of the goofy boss character that he was in the television show, The $6 Million Man. He's much more of a black ops kind of guy, and we still have, this character of the Hull. And what he's doing, obviously he wants vengeance on these same people like Oscar Goldman and this, again, I don't even know if I have her name, the female head of the agency that is, that Oscar kind of gets his, Margaret is her name, that, he kind of gets his funding towards. And so basically, her idea is, let's get Steve Austin, who is, he's a combat vet, he's been on covert missions, he's, a great candidate for, another Bionic Man, hence the title. It gets a little bit too overwrought emotionally at some point, as far as, why did you pull me out of the crash? Why didn't you just let me die? I'm nothing without my whole body. And then, a young nurse comes in and tells, and tells him about, what a hero, Steve Austin was to her little brother who died in Afghanistan. And so, of course, this makes him rethink the whole, I don't really want to die, and maybe I should go ahead with the cybernetics. And of course, being Kevin Smith, there is some pretty damn clever dialogue, and the doctor friend of Steve, is he's he's talking about how the prosthetic, how the cybernetics are going to work, and when he says it's going to cost. And Oscar says, well, it's tough to say, but it'll be $6 million a day. So basically for 5 years, just for every day that Steve Austin is alive, it will cost the taxpayers $6 million. So it was a good piece of dialogue, but it seems a little like, okay, that figure seems a little too inflated. Let's make that like a month or something like that. But who knows? I mean, it's, Jonathan Lau does great artwork. Obviously, Kevin Smith and Phil Hester know how to write very well. Like I said, just a little overwrought at times, but other than that, still a pretty darn solid read, a very clever read. It's a little wordy, but that's okay, because, if I read something by Kevin Smith that wasn't really wordy, I would start to get concerned. So, anyway, moving along. Ultimate Comics HAWKEYE, number 3. Now, first of all, I love Kari Andrews, his covers for the Ultimate Universe. They're just, all of them have been terrific. I love this cover. This is probably one of my favorites so far. And it's Clint is still kind of he's in the Southeast the Southeast Asian Republic, the Seer, and he's got a couple of Shield agents with him, and then he's got the Ultimate X team, the Covert Mutant team, which is Firestar, the Guardian, and Jean Grey. Now I don't know who the Guardian is. I don't know exactly what his abilities are. I don't know if they're supposed to be the kind of like that of Mimic or what. I don't know, but it shows Clint kind of what kind of how he was before that. That when after he gets the implants, he becomes deadly with anything that he gets his hands on. That was very well explored in the Ultimates 2, in which he's been captured and he actually rips off his fingernails and and flicks them at people and kills people using his fingernails. That's pretty fucking cool. But this, yeah, I mean, basically they're in the Seer. There's a big floating tower, and it has the source, which is the serum that is creating superhumans that are known as the People. And so we've got some interesting stuff going on here. Obviously, Hulk is in this issue. Jean Grey is trying to control the Hulk and is actually triggering his transformations into the Hulk, but then of course loses control of it. And Hulk seemed to he's always a little bit kind of crazy and kind of silly sounding in the Ultimate U, but this he seems a little bit. He's certainly is crazy, but he seems like dumber than usual. Because at least he seemed to kind of speak in complete sentences a little bit, and was actually kind of clever. But it does, it shows how badass Hawkeye is, and that's always fun. Because I love Hawkeye as a character in the regular Marvel U and in the Ultimate Marvel U. I did spend a good deal last week reading the 6-issue Hawkeye and Mockingbird miniseries, which was really good, by the way. So it's just it ends on this very kind of weird note, and I wasn't quite sure how to run with that, how to go with it. It just seemed a little out of place, or I just didn't. I didn't really understand what, if this character is a reference, that we see on the last page, if this character is a reference to something we've seen before or supposed to have seen. I don't know. That's where I'm confused. So again, another kind of confusing book, but still, it has moments of definite enjoyability. So, and it's also only one more issue, and Hickman obviously, doing some, doing some high concept stuff even with Hawkeye. So, just with the exploration overall of mutants and so on and so forth. So, just good stuff. Okay, going back to DC here, we got Nightwing #2. Now this, basically it seems like everybody in the Bat family is getting laid. There's some sex in this issue too for good old Mr. Grayson. With his, with the girl that he grew up with in the circus, Raya, and basically, it's, Dick, basically here he has left the Haley circus, and is turned over to him with the, soon-to-be deceased Mr. Haley is, he was going to give his parents the circus, but, obviously not to happen. And then we have this Psycho, who is this assassin that Dick's been fighting, who believes that Dick Grayson is the fiercest killer in all of Gotham. Why he thinks that, that's obviously a that's obviously a part of the mystery that's going on in the series. I do like how Dick has still got some of the Batman hangover here, as far as, that he is doing his best to outthink his opponent in Psycho. And, it's not PSY, it's spelled like this, SAIKO. But, he's doing his best, like, to outthink his opponents rather than to just to outbeat them. So that's that's a good touch. I mean, Kyle Higgins, very, very talented guy, smart. I'm really liking this series so far. I like Nightwing a lot. Issue number 2 definitely helping to expand on this mystery here, and is quite cool. So I definitely recommend picking this up if you haven't. I know I'm kind of blowing through some stuff here, and that's what I'm trying to do, because we've still got a lot to cover. So we got Avengers 1959, number 2. Loved this issue. Again, we have this, kind of going back to the Cold War again. But we've got, Nick and his bunch of Avengers, like, particularly the Blonde Phantom. He works alongside in this book a lot. And they end up in Latveria, fighting, fighting for the American way, and fighting against this these like Nazi zombies, and the Lord of Death and the Hollow Men, and it's some interesting stuff. Of course, obviously looking at Chaykin's art always is a pleasure to me. And watching him always kind of add this little bit, or maybe a lot bit of this kind of perversion to these characters. Kind of this perverse sexuality to these characters is quite entertaining, and always that kind of. That kind of undercurrent of what's the word, subversion, is always something that I enjoy a great deal in Howard Chaykin's work. And of course, the final scenes here in the comic with Baron Blood and Brain Drain, and them fighting, Sabretooth and Namora and Kraven and Dominic Fortune and the Englishman, who seems to be kind of a transporter. It's really cool. It's really fun. Love this issue. Very entertaining read. Really enjoying his stuff. And Avengers 1959 as a whole. I'm kind of sad that this is only 5 issues long, because this is almost an ongoing series that I'd really like to see how this eventually would lead into, the more modern era Avengers. We'll do one more for right now. No, we'll skip it. We'll do, because we've got 3 more comics to go, and that will include my book of the week. So stay tuned. We'll be right back.